Okay, so we're broadcasting.
Okay, hi everybody. Hi, I'm Annie Harbillis, a veterinarian here at Animal Wellness Centers, and we're back here in our puppy rescue cam area. And Courtney Johnson, we're really happy to have her here today. And Lou, who you guys should all probably know.
Lulu, come over here and say
Lulu,
hello.
come here, say hi. Come over here, everybody.
Lulu's drooling a lot because she loves puppies, and puppies make her drool.
So we're here today because we're hoping to show you guys all the amazing dogs that we have here at Animal Wellness Foundation. And all the dogs that you're going to see need homes. So if you are interested in any of the dogs, please let us know. If you go on our website, animalwellnessfoundation.org, you can check out the Adopt Me section and find out more information about the dogs, or shoot us an email at info@animalwellnessfoundation.org. But just let us know because they all need homes, and they're all pretty amazing animals. So this first one that we want to introduce you to is a very special little girl. This is Melly, and Melly is pretty young. She's only 1, maybe 2 years old, and she came to us a couple weeks ago because
If you could just move the mouse every once in a while, so it doesn't. So sorry, Annie, you were saying?
Okay, so this is Melly. And Melly was found on the street by a very nice person who took her in and had her for a couple weeks in her house, I think about 6 weeks. And she was running around. She had a friend who we were kind of calling her boyfriend. He was a black terrier that was probably, I think, bigger than her, I'm going to say. So it was, a pair. They were running around in the street, and this nice woman took them in. She decided to keep the dad, or at least what I'm calling the dad, but she couldn't really handle Melly because Melly was very pregnant. So when I saw Melly, she was very, very pregnant. We took x-rays, and she had 2 babies inside of her. And it's pretty standard care to take x-rays when a mama is pretty far along, so that you can see how many babies she has, so that you know how many babies are going to come out during the labor process. We call it whelp baby in the dog world. So we wanted to know how many babies she had, and more importantly, whether the babies were going to be small enough to fit through the birth canal. Because with rescues, you never know who the dad is, and you never know how big the puppies are. So you get really concerned about whether or not things will pass and be okay. So for Melly, we were very worried because she had only 2 babies. And 60% of the time, when you only have 2 babies, when you have 3 or less, the babies get to be really big. It's kind of like the goldfish phenomenon. Like, you know how if you have a goldfish and you take the goldfish and put it in something really small, it'll stay kind of small, but if you put it in a big area, it'll get bigger.
I didn't even know that actually.
Oh really? Yeah. If you put a goldfish, like we had a goldfish we once put in like an old pool, and it ended up being this like ginormous tart thing. It was like huge. But anyway, it can happen with puppies too, where the more space they have, the bigger they're going to be. So if you have less than 3 puppies, you worry about how big they're going to be. So we took an X-ray and we measured the puppies. And they're like, oh, they're just going to, they're going to fit by this
Just
much.
barely don't have to do a C-section.
Yes, we were terrified about doing a C-section. But we decided that we were going to try to let her have the puppies naturally. And if she had trouble, we would just rush her in and get her to the So I didn't quite realize that it was going to be so fast, but we brought her in on a Wednesday and she had her puppies on a Friday. So it was pretty quick. We didn't have that much time to get it quick. So she had these 2 beautiful babies 2 weeks ago. So these puppies are 2 weeks old. They're 2 girls. We have a little brown one here. And they came, the little black one was born before the little brown one. And today is the first day that they have fully opened their eyes. So not only is this the first day that they're being presented to the world, this is the first time the world is being presented to them. So it's pretty amazing. A couple days ago they started kind of squinting their eyes open, just squinting, but today was the first day that they're really fully open. And they're both girls, and you'll notice that I refer to them as the black baby and the brown baby, because we don't have names for them. I'm kind of hoping that you guys can help us out with that. So we need names for these guys. Their personalities, they're 2 weeks old today, so this is kind of like a birthday for them. Their personalities are just starting to come out, but we don't see them too much. But the black baby seems to be a lot more dependent on mom, and whenever mom goes away, she cries a lot more than the other. This one seems a lot more independent.
Black baby's so mellow.
Yeah. Probably because all morning she was crying. Because she cries a lot. But they're pretty amazing, and this is probably the 4th litter of puppies that I've taken from as a rescue. Usually they come to me at around a week old or so. But the most amazing experience for me is the first time they learned to do this. It's my favorite thing in the world. So I'm looking forward to setting up a camera for them, and getting it to a point where you guys can watch what's going on with them, watch them grow. I don't think that she'd do very well here because she gets very spooked when she hears other noises. She's kind of starting to warm up to Lulu, but she's been a little bit worried about me. She's very protective, and she's a very good woman. So we're going to find a nice place for them to set up with the camera, and I need you guys to help us name them. So please, let us know if we should just post, right? What do you think we should do?
Yeah, we love your name suggestions. So we're going to have this new camera with the puppies and the mom, it's going to be live by next week. So we're going to open up the forum to suggestions, and anybody who has ideas for the names, we'd love to hear from you.
And also, look out for that first tail wag.
Yeah,
that's the most
because that's
amazing
Annie's goal. We need like a snapshot or a video of the tail wag for sure. So capture that.
All right, great. So, anything else you want to talk about?
Unless you want to tell anybody, if they're not familiar with the work of Animal Wellness Foundation, a little bit more about what you do.
Okay. No, don't worry. Nobody's going to...
Because we know that you rescue, obviously.
Yes.
We just talked about that.
So, Animal Wellness Foundation, we actually started out of... so we're located in Animal Wellness Centers, which is a veterinary hospital. And what we try to do is help out all the dogs and cats in the LA area that need it. It's pretty intense how bad the situation is here. So you wouldn't think it, considering we're the second biggest city pretty bad. Yeah. Over 220 dogs and cats are euthanized a day in the LA city and county area. So we started because basically I went to the shelter with a friend of mine who was looking for a dog, and there were some volunteers there that tried to get me to take this really nice little chihuahua because it had been there for a very long time and it was going to be put down. And they, the volunteers were like, please, somebody take this dog. And I said, well, you know what, we have an empty space in our hospital. Why don't we just take the dog? And we needed a buddy for him, so let's take a little buddy. So I got 2 of the dogs from the shelter. And so that grew into a situation where pretty much whenever we would have empty space available in the hospital, we were taking animals. Well, then people started to learn about us and know that we're here. So a lot of people will come to us, especially clients or people who live around here. When they would find animals, they would bring them to us. And we really tend to take care of the ones that need special attention. But honestly, we take care of all of them, let's be honest. But we do have a lot of cases that need special attention. A lot of them are in the hospital.
Special veterinary care.
Yeah. So it can get really expensive taking care of all these guys. But yeah, we take all the dogs and cats and help them out. We also help people when they want to keep their animals and they have good intentions, but they just don't have the funding to take care of them.
Veterinary care.
Yeah. Veterinary care is the biggest reason why people relinquish their animals to shelters if they can't afford to take care of them. So we help people out that way as well. And we also take care of a lot of the dogs that are owned by homeless dogs. Because there's a big problem around here where we have distemper and parvovirus. When I was in vet school, long time ago, 10 years ago,
It's not that long.
15 years ago, they told us distemper would be eradicated. They're like, when we learned about distemper, they said, don't worry about it, you're never going to see it, it's not going to be a problem. But when I moved out here to LA, we would actually see distemper. And I think a lot of it has to do with people not getting their dogs vaccinated, or there are a lot of people who are living here, on the streets or in low-income housing situations where they just can't get their animals vaccinated. So we also try to practice preventative medicine as well. So that's what we do in a nutshell. We've been growing by leaps and bounds, and a lot of it has to do with the help of Explore.org, God Bless You, and these awesome camps. And the idea of the camps is, all the dogs that you see playing out here need to be homes. So as you see dogs that you like and you think are really interesting, please let us know, spread the word.
Yeah, you guys are great at doing that. You all know that. So.
Yeah, let's spread the love. These puppies, by the way, it's worth mentioning, are going to be Christmas puppies.
Oh.
Which is very exciting. They will be ready to leave their mama right around Christmas time. And I think Christmas puppies are just the greatest thing in the world. You're getting very low. That.
You're saying they're Christmas puppies?
They're Christmas puppies. I'm sure by the time Christmas rolls around, Mama will be ready for her little babies to leave the nest, and they can find Christmas homes. And I think that, a puppy is really a great present for Christmas time. The only problem, the only caveat to that is, a lot of times people don't understand how important it is, what kind of a commitment it is to have a puppy.
Yeah.
It's a 15 to 20 year commitment to have a dog.
Yeah.
And I do want to throw that out there that, as you're thinking about holiday gifts, holidays are coming around. Dogs are excellent gifts as long as you know that it's more than just a Christmas commitment. 15 to 20 years.
Yes. They're not just Christmas puppies, they're Christmas forever puppies.
Yeah. They're not just My Little Pony and Transformers and Star Wars figurines.
You don't wrap them up
play
in
for a little while and then throw away. I just date myself with my little
Yeah.
but
I
anyway,
remember this. I remember my little bunny.
I love my little okay, so this is Melly. She will be eating at home right around Christmas time when her babies are ready to leave her. It'd be really nice if some parts of the family get to stay together. Maybe the two puppies get to stay together, or one of them gets to stay with mom. She's an excellent mom, and she's going to do a really good job raising these wonderful little puppies. Okay, let's see who else we got.
We have a couple more dogs for you to meet.
This next dog we have is Timothy. And Timothy is going to be shown.
Do we need to remove Lulu
Vanessa.
for a second?
Yeah.
Okay, come here. Come here, sweetie. Come here, little girl.
Here, you can come. We're due Timothy real quick. So, Timothy, how old is Timothy?
He's a year.
A year old. And he just has problems getting to know people.
Right.
It seems like he's a very good dog. He's very loving, right? He's very loving to you. But he just needs to get to know people.
Right. He needs extra socialization and proper introductions with people. And once he gets to know you, he feels he can trust you. He's just the sweetest dog.
Okay. So he needs somebody who we will work with him. And we have enough people here that he'll get better. We haven't had him too long. About a month. So he'll get better. And he's also good with other dogs. It's just the introduction is a little bit tough. Right. So that's Timothy.
Yeah.
What kind of dog do you think?
He's just a total snuggle dog. Once you sit down with him, he just falls right into your lap and just doesn't want to leave your side.
What kind of breed?
He's a spaniel mix.
Spaniel mix. Okay, great. Let's Timothy. All right, who else you got? Let's get Courtney back out here and see that.
Rayford's not interested.
Rayford likes Lulu.
Come here. Come here, Lulu.
I know. I think they're just very jealous of Lulu.
Hey, buddy. Okay.
So,
It's okay.
okay, James. So, James, you found Rayford.
I found Rayford. He was roaming the streets of Westchester. Some neighbors were trying to capture him for a while. He was hiding under dumpsters.
It's obvious.
Yeah, it's
I think so. Okay.
okay. So I was saying, yeah, he was in Westchester, which is a suburb of Los Angeles, or part of Los Angeles. That's the address. And he was just running the streets for a few weeks. People had a hard time getting him. And I came across him when they were trying to get him and helped him out. And brought him in and got him a little healthy, and he's just now getting ready for a home after getting through some little infections from being on the streets.
Yeah, you had a really bad case of kennel cough. And how did he get his name?
His name's Rayford because that's the street he was found on. It was difficult to name this one.
And he's about 3 years old.
Yeah, Rayford's about 3. He's just.
And he's a good boy, right? He's good with other dogs too.
He's good with most dogs. Every now and then, the bigger dogs, he wants to act macho and tough. Little man syndrome there.
He has Napoleon.
There you go.
Well, we can probably train that out of him, right? He just needs a little bit more training.
Yeah, he's doing a lot better. He plays with Frankie a lot. You'll see him a little bit.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
a big dog.
Okay.
So he's been playing with Frankie to work on that. But sometimes, as you saw with Lou, he's just saying, "No, this is my space, my yard."
All right, cool. Who else is there?
Okay, we'll go grab the next one.
Lou, I'm sorry. Come here, Lou.
You're just so threatening.
I know. It's okay. Yes. You can hear Robin. So Robin is a 2 year old, and she came from the shelter, right?
Yes.
Sweetie pie, it's okay. Hi, you're gonna be alright. You don't have to be the worst. It's alright. So Robin is a spaniel mix as well. How old are you? 2 years old. 2 years old. Okay, good. And she does play with the other dogs.
Yeah, he's super playful.
Oh,
he can play all day.
That's good. I think that Lulu may be just intimidating.
Right.
Alright, so this is Robin. Very sweet. I think he would do okay with another dog.
Yeah, he'll be fine as long as he has his toys. He's happy.
Good. And they'll probably see Robin out
Oh yeah, he plays all day with the other dog. Comes in with our guest dog Gracie. He plays with her all day.
there. Okay, great. Who do we have next? Thank you, Vanessa. You're welcome. Max!
Max, you're so mellow.
Max is one of my favorite dogs. Max is pretty young. He's 1 to 2 years old. He hasn't been out here playing yet because he just got neutered not too long ago. So he has a little incision, so he can't run around yet. But he should be out here sometime soon. The reason why we have Max is because
He seems to want to stand like this.
He's
I'm not making him. He just wants to.
His owners said that he had a seizure, and they didn't want to take care of him, so they left him at the Carson shelter. And we have had him probably about 3 or 4 weeks, and he hasn't had a seizure. And we completely worked him up. We did X-rays, blood work, got him checked out, and I don't think that he's going to have a seizure. So I'm not sure what that was about. We're continuing to watch him, but he is extremely housebroken. I take him out on walks, and he feeds and poops right away. He keeps his kennel very clean. I think he's going to be a really good dog. And he's going to be an easy dog because I don't think he's going to shed a lot. I don't think he's going to cause us problems. As you can tell, like all the other dogs are barking at Lulu, and he just does not care. He's just very happy. Oops, and there he goes. I think he's excited because he just saw Puppy. Puppy says no.
Do we need Vanessa?
Vanessa's like the dog whisperer.
Yeah.
But she works with us a lot. So
Uh-huh.
Puppy. Max is a new one. You just don't like to
Maybe next time.
Okay, Poppy. Well, Poppy is about 2 to 3 years old. Let's see what Vanessa. I'm going to pick him up, but it's as soon as I sit down. There you go. Max, you can sit with me if you want. Okay. So Poppy is how old?
He's 3 years old.
3 years old. He's a neutered male. He came from the South LA shelter. And he's a timid dog, as most Chihuahuas are. But he is very sweet.
Right. Super.
He really just wants to be in somebody's lap. He's a good dog. He's, I think, a little overstimulated right now. What's going on. But anything else you can say about Poppy?
He's just a really sweet boy. He just needs someone that's gonna give him some loving and someone he can trust. It's not so scary out in the world. He's just a really good boy.
Do you think that we call him Poppy because he pops out of your arms?
Probably.
Because he tends to pop out of my arms kind of like popcorn. I think that's why I'm going to say that his name is Poppy. What did you do? Max is so excited. This is his first time out here. Come on, Max. Max, let's do this together. Are you happy, Max? Max is great. Okay, great. Let's see. I see a big dog.
Come here, Wanda. So this big girl right here is Wanda. Never guessed she got her name because she was found wandering the streets of Venice Beach, California.
You mean she likes to Wanda?
She does. She likes to Wanda every day. We found her. If you kind of see, she's got some scars on her head that are healing. You probably think she got those from escaping through a fence. She doesn't like to be held like a baby all the time. But she's just a sweet lab. Needs some work. She hasn't had a whole lot of leash training, but we've been working with her on that. She's been doing a lot better.
How old is she?
Wanda's probably about a year to a year and a half. She's just got a lot of energy, and she just we've had her for about 2 weeks now. And she'll just be next week be looking for her new home forever. So if you can think of anybody, she is a lover with a lot of energy. So she needs someone that's ready for a dog with some energy that's very playful.
And her energy level may decrease a little bit as she gets older too.
Yeah, definitely.
Because she's still, until the age of 2, they still kind of act like a puppy even though they're full grown, so that can make it a little bit more difficult. But she definitely would be happy when we're on the farm or running around. We do get people ask us a lot whether or not we can adopt these animals out to people outside of the LA area. Because I know a lot of people watching are from different areas. We always prefer to adopt them to people that are, easy to do a home check, like they can be close by. But we have found some really great homes in other areas of the country. We've had some people fly in to see our animals, and that was really exciting. We've found some homes for dogs in Florida. I think one of our best homes is a little Chihuahua named Chance, who got posted on Dog Bless You and found a home in Florida. And we get letters from them sometimes about how great Chance is doing. Because there are certain regions of the country that have more types of dogs than other regions. Like we have a lot of Chihuahuas. Like if anybody out there wants a Chihuahua and they can offer a good home, we do have an application process. And it would be nice to maybe get some pictures of your house, and we may need to do video conferencing. I was thinking of, that thing that they do on Back to the Future 2.
Yes, we're in that age now.
What is that?
FaceTime.
FaceTime.
The Cubs didn't win the World Series, but some of the stuff is still true.
But what I was going for is FaceTime. We can always FaceTime to learn how people's houses are and everything, but we have an overabundance of Chihuahuas out here. So if anybody wants a Chihuahua, please let us know. We can find you one. But getting back to Wanda, I think she's as much of a lab as you can be. Her face is going to get better. She's got these little things on here, but they needed to be sutured closed. She had stitches for a while.
Stitches were just taken out 2 days ago.
So it'll start looking better. And her teeth are beautiful, so she is very young. And so I think this is kind of like the terrible twos where she doesn't have so much energy and so but she's great. I think she might have already been spayed.
Definitely extinct this. We'll go get a Shelton for you.
Oh, Sheldon! Yeah, that's good. Go back into Sheldon. Sheldon. Yes. I'm gonna give you Sheldon.
Hi, Sheldon. Oh, goodness. You're a little lasagna.
Yeah. So Sheldon has kind of an interesting story, or at least my story with Sheldon is this. Every 6 months, there's a big event where there's a coalition of all these rescues in Los Angeles. It's called No Kill LA. And they have this amazing event where all the rescue groups come with all the animals that need homes, and they set up these tents around a circle. And in the center of the circle are all the animals from the city, from the shelters that they use. And so the high kill shelter areas are in the middle, and all the rescue groups are around the edge. And it's very nicely advertised. We actually have it, I think, next weekend, November 7th and November 8th. It's Saturday and Sunday. But at the end of the event, all the rescue groups try to get together and take all the dogs from the center. And we do that because we don't want those dogs to go back to the high shelters. This is how I got Sheldon. Sheldon was in the middle section. He was in one of the high hill animal shelters. And we took about 2 years ago. And at the time, his name was Buddha. And as you can imagine, the reason why his name was Buddha is because he was huge. He was really a very large dog. And he lost a lot of weight, and we found him a home. And the new owner's named him Sheldon. And he lived with them for about 6 months or so. And then they moved to China. And they called us up and they said, hey, we're moving to China, we can't take Sheldon. Can you guys take Sheldon back? And we said, of course, because we'd rather have all our dogs come back to us than go back into the shelters. Yeah. So Sheldon came back to us about a couple months ago, a lot thinner than when we first got him. He's a love bug. He's a really great dog. He has problems with his feet. Where he was born with a little bit of a deformity on his paws. But there's not much we can do about it, and it doesn't really seem to bother him very much. He still gets around really well, and he enjoys his walks. And he's a favorite out here in the rescue camp because he seems to get along with all the other dogs. So he's a really great dog. But I feel especially bad for Sheldon because he was in a home and came back. And it had nothing to do with him. Sometimes people will bring dogs back because they are bitey or peeing in a house or obnoxious behavior of some sort. But it wasn't his fault. His owners moved and they just couldn't take care of him. So please help us find Sheldon.
It's kind of a love bug.
Hey, this thing's out. So that's Sheldon. And then I see that somebody else is getting around here to see this.
Yeah, somebody else. Oh my gosh.
Oh, here, you guys can do it. You want me to do Frankie?
Here, Frankie. Here, little bud. Come on, you champ. It's Frankie's time. This is Frankie. He's a bulldog pit mix. He's 2 years old. It was a backyard mistake between a pit bull and a bulldog out here. And unfortunately, he was taken away from mommy too young and given to somebody that didn't treat him so well. And he lived there for a little while before he was rescued. And then from there, he went to a foster situation where he lived with mostly only dogs. So when he was very young, he didn't have too many people experiences. So it's not trusting at first. But once you get to know him, you can see all he wants to do is get love and play fetch. Those are his two things. He'll take those over food any day. And right now you can see him looking over my shoulder there because he's looking at Champ that he wants to play with Champ. But he is a sweet boy. He does have a few little allergy issues to work with. So maybe one of those people that lives in another place like Dr. Andy was talking about where they don't have as many allergies as LA. Might be great, but I might have to visit because I have had him for a while. He's my personal foster, and I do love him.
Why are you?
I do a lot of rescue stuff, and the day I keep a dog and have a forever dog is the day that I don't help any other dogs. So that might be the only reason not to keep a dog like Frankie for me. Come, you just want to play. You want to go say hi to Champ? Lulu. And I don't know if we can see Champ yet on the camera. This is Champ. Champ was unfortunately his original owner had lost his home and he left him with what he thought was a good friend that ran a mechanic shop, and that friend turned out to be not too good to Champ. He unfortunately abandoned him into the alley, and Champ's got a little bit of a leg problem right now that we're still working with him on. And unfortunately with that leg problem, he was left in the alley for probably a month or two living there. And when some other fellow rescue people came across him, they thought he was a black dog, didn't they, Champ? Because he had so much grease and soot stuck to him. But after about 5 good groomings, you can start to see the little raggy, maggy nut boy that he is. And he is one of our friendliest guys I've ever had. Yeah, I mean, we take him to lots of different, he's been to different hospitals just to get different checkups and see what's going on with him. And every time he leaves there, they call us, how's Champ? And these are people that see dogs over and over again, and they always want to know how Champ's doing. So he's just a sweet, polite person. So he will be ready soon. Right now he's not up on our site because we're still working on finalizing what's going on with his little leg back there. He did have a little, basically for not the medical vet terms, but he had a little ACL tear that has corrected and usually he just wants people's attention. So Dr. Annie says if we could find a home with a little boy, that'd be great. Huh?
Yeah, I think that Champ is like the quintessential dog. He's just like the perfect dog. He just is like man's best friend. We'll just hang out, do whatever you want to do. His health problems, he had a tick-borne disease, which we don't get a lot here in LA. But he, I guess, had been traveling around that of the tick-borne disease. And at first, we had gone to see a vet that thought that he might need his leg amputated. And that's kind of how we got it, because we didn't want him to lose his leg. So we took him in and stuff and tried to get his leg fixed. And so far so good, and he's really well. He does have a torn ACL as well. It's football season, so everybody hears about all the torn ACLs that they have, but that's what he has. But he seems to be recovering. So friendly. So this is Bentley. And Bentley is new to us because Bentley has to be in isolation for an extended period of time because of the very bad case of kennel cough. We get a lot of dogs with bad kennel cough around here. But he's completely recovered, so he's okay. So he's kind of Champ. But he looks to me like he's a Pomeranian.
Yeah, he's kind of like a weird mix. He looks like a little werewolf. He's got all the tuft in the front and no hair in the back. Really cute.
Yeah, he looks like a very small skipper key.
Yeah.
It's kind of a rare breed, but he's super pretty cool. But we don't know too much about his personality yet because we haven't been playing with him. But I do know that he's not a whiner. No, he's not a barker. He's not a whiner. He's very laid back. He takes things. Doesn't care about trucks. But I think he's going to make somebody a really, really nice dog. He's really young. Probably somebody who likes the idea. Do you know how old he is? He's about 2 years old. Alright, cool. I think we have one more set, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Twins.
This is going to be the best one. Hey, Lulu.
Just surrounded with the candles. She really, yeah.
Can you tell me again Lulu's story?
Lulu is actually from the Surface Star Project in Ipswich.
Did you see her board?
No, I didn't actually. She's from Chaos and Slitter, which is one of the first dogs that gave birth to a litter on live now.
Oh.
So, she was actually meant to be for Charlie. And Carlene, who's the head of Surface Star Project, came out with her. And Charlie was like, I don't feel a connection. She's so like statuesque. She doesn't want to roughhouse with me. And I was like, I do feel a connection with her. I identify with this dog. So before Carlene left for her flight to go back to Massachusetts, I was like, can you leave her with me? I want to keep her.
Oh my god, here we go.
Oh my gosh.
Come here, babies.
Oh, what a treat.
for you.
Yeah.
Here.
And one for you. This is Chip. That's Dale.
Chip and Dale. Chip and Dale. They're named after the cartoon chipmunks,
Yeah.
not the exotic dancers.
Oh.
I just wanted to make that clear.
We could put little bow ties on them for Halloween.
Oh.
Yeah,
that's a good
we-
idea. Okay, maybe they are named after the exotic
Chip and
dancers.
Dale.
They are both boys. They are adorable. They were basically found outside of LA in more of like the farmland area
Yeah.
of the state. They were just out in the country. I would say they were out on a farm, but that always sounds really nice when the dogs are on the farm. But no, they were like out like by themselves, nobody taking care of them kind of situation. So we brought them in. They are about 14 weeks old right now. They have already gotten neutered. We've gotten all their shots. The only reason why they're not out here playing is because they had a bad case of intestinal parasites that were getting hurt. We just don't want to infect all the dogs out here with that. So whenever we put dogs out here, it's when they've already been screened. And they're almost there. They're almost there. Not quite. But they are very, very they love to play. They wrestle with each other, sleep on each other.
Thank you.
They don't play with it. I actually say 4 months of age, they're not quite that size. So these guys are 12 months. So they'll probably be a little bit like a latch size. I love this one. But these guys need homes. They're ready to go whenever. They're already neutered, so they can go tomorrow if we can find somebody.
Yeah. Look like you'd be good to adopt as a pair. They're kind of like.
They would be really great.
Yeah.
It's nice to adopt dogs together because dogs are pack animals, and so they're used to being around. And so if you put them alone, that's when they're more likely to become distracted out of the house, they don't have too much energy. But if you put them together,
They have an automatic friend.
yeah, somebody to run around with.
Yeah.
So they're pretty good in that regard. So I try to encourage people to take them.
You need to.
These guys are Halloween puppies. If they find homes tomorrow, we'll put.
Yeah. Take them up.
But that's it. So that's all the guys that we have here. We have some more puppies that are in a foster home right now. They're like Australian Shepherd Dachshunds, mixes. They're also named after chipmunks, but more of the Allenstein. And then we have a lot of cats. Cats are a little tougher to show up. But we have a long hair and Tasha. We have a 3-legged cat. Who lost the leg in basically like a wire. But he's really sweet. So if anybody's interested in cats, please let us know.
Yeah, cats too.
We have cats. Don't forget cats. Hello, baby. But yeah, that's basically all the animals that we have here today. Thanks so much for coming out.
Yeah, thank you for showing us all of your adoptable dogs. And stay tuned for the cam next week. We're going to have a new live puppy cam with the little litter that you saw when we first started. And they need names, so we're going to be ready for your name suggestions as soon as the cam is live. So I hope you're brainstorming right now.
Yeah, and please let us know if you have any questions. If you think you know somebody that may want one of these little guys, or if you're interested in one of these little guys, or if you want to take some snapshots of them from the cam,
live cam, they'll be
put
featured.
them, put them on Facebook and spread the word. And the more people who see their pictures and see their videos, the more likely they're going to find a really, really great home. So they can really enjoy it.
Thank you. Thanks for joining us. Say goodbye, Lulu. You can't see her probably, but she's down here.
Tripping down.
Bye, everybody.